Welcome back to the Dex and Randi Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. You're coming up next. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Dex and Randi Show. I'm your host, Dex. Excited as always to have you guys back with us for another episode. And I got my beautiful co-host with me. What's up, man?
Hello, everyone. I am Randy, the co host of the Dex and Randi Show.
Hey, every time you say Randy, I picture if they're gonna have your name right on our clips. That's pissed me off so much that it's been a Y instead of a I. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So
I'm
we got to
Randy with an I.
Randy with an I. So if you see any clips out there with a Y, no, it's Randy with an I. We got to get that right. But how you doing, man? What's up?
I'm doing okay, and yourself?
Okay, I think okay is the word today. You know what I mean? So it's definitely an up and down day for many reasons. You know what I'm saying? But before we jump into anything, make sure you follow us. You know what I'm saying? Dex and Randi Show. We're rebranded. We're on all platforms. You know what I mean? And we talk about everything in the ups and downs of life, but tell you guys stories about our life that I know that you guys can relate to because we do everything together. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things we do together sometimes is not get along. You know what I mean? But we'll tap into that in a second. You know what I mean? We got plenty of time. But how you doing today, man? What's up? What's up? You know what I mean? What's on your mind? What's going on?
Um, how am I doing today? Well, the youngest is not feeling well. He's a
Mm-hmm.
little under the weather, so you know how that is.
I know. I know.
So,
We had a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things we talked about in one of our recent episodes, I don't know what it is, but like our journey, our very recent journey to what is it? Personal training or whatever, and like
oh
being more
yes,
serious about working out. And we talked about the other side of that is like the diet, you know what I'm saying? And that's like the hardest thing to sacrifice. But we have been going hard for a week or less, a couple days, you know what I'm saying? It's been challenging, you know what I mean? But we've been matching the activity at the gym. So we've been going pretty much every day, whether it's with us getting together by ourselves, you know what I'm saying? But we've been matching it with some eating choices,
yeah,
you know
we've
what I
been
mean?
eating very clean,
Very clean,
very
you know
clean,
what I
and
mean?
I'm proud of you.
Are you?
Yes,
That's what's
because
up.
normally in the past, I don't want to say normally, but
Nah, normal is fine.
you like to, or you have a habit of just a little something, something.
I always find a reason, you
Always
know what I
find a
mean?
reason.
I've been sticking to
Hold on. Did
nah,
you
go
have,
ahead.
there was an open ginger beer on the counter.
Nah, I didn't. I actually gave that to the kids.
Okay.
I I opened it up and I poured half of it for my son, and then I left the other half, and I was like, "Well, I wonder what's gonna happen with this other half."
Were you trying to tempt me?
No,
Because I
I
was
was tempted.
tempted.
No, I was
I
tempted.
was tempted. I picked it up. I said, who would leave
A whole
a
half.
whole half of a ginger beer?
But nah, I ain't drink it though. I just left
I
it
didn't
there.
either.
You know what I mean? But that's what's up. But nah, been trying to be better with the diet. You know what I mean? Which is all part of being diligent. You know what I mean? So we can talk about that for a second. But like one of the things my trainer's been telling me is like, it's consistency and you gotta be diligent. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about how you gotta put the work in and be ready for pain. You know what I'm saying? So the consistency is coming in because we've been going to the gym pretty much every day. And as hard as it is, we've been consistently for a little bit eating a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? Not having as many treats. And then maybe over time that will kind of get a little bit easier. It's still hard though. But
Yeah. Well, I will say I was motivated by the video that you filmed of me doing the what is it called, these lifts right here?
I don't know, the machine of death. That's what it's called. But
Well, anyway, I was looking at the video a few times because I could see like from the back my arm definition coming in. So it kind of inspired me
mm,
to want to see it more. The only way I'm gonna see it more is through proper diet because I've been
true.
working on my arms for a long time.
Hey, but you know when you was doing that exercise or whatever, I was looking at you and I was like, yo, you look good for real. And it looked like you've been doing that 100 times, but I know how hard that machine was, but like your arms look defined. It looked like you could see the strength coming in, especially like your shoulders and that little area by your neck and
Yeah.
everything. You could see that your body is like responding to that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
So
you.
that's pretty dope.
Oh,
you know.
thank you very much.
Yeah, but the other thing that's been good about the gym is like what said before. Our kids love going to the kids club and everything, so they got excited to go. This morning we tried to go, and we couldn't. While we was there for like 15 minutes or
Mhm.
less, because our youngest son was
His nose started running.
coughing, nose running, and they made us leave. Precautionary for everybody else. So we got to try to get back there today. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to be consistent. I do want to be diligent with it, or you're kind of putting in work and you're not really going to see the results. You know what I'm saying? So when you just said about I always find a reason to do a little something or whatever, like if you don't really make that sacrifice completely, you're kind of cheating yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like one of the things I would tell my players at like practice, like I coach soccer and everything, it's like if we got to do sprints or we're dribbling down one end and then we got to dribble to the other end. If you cut the line off early, you might think you're getting ahead of everybody, but you're just cheating it. You see what I'm saying? You're not even cheating. The only thing you're cheating is your teammates. So I will always tell them, like, if you don't put the hard work in, you're cheating your teammates. I will always tell them that we all are like pieces of a puzzle and everybody's piece is important. You see what I'm saying? And when you're in a team environment, it don't matter if you got the corner piece, if you got the big middle piece that's got the picture on it or whatever. It don't matter if it's 100 pieces or 10,000 pieces. Like if you don't bring your piece to the table and do your job, the puzzle's not complete. You see what I'm saying? There's something missing. So when it comes to like working out and everything, if we don't respond with the diet, you know what I'm saying? If we don't make the sacrifice, if we don't bring the consistency, we're gonna be that puzzle with a piece missing, and we're never gonna get to that ultimate goal. You see what I'm saying? So like we could work out, work out, work out, work out, but if we're not eating right, it ain't getting reflected. You know what I'm saying? Or even if we work out a little bit and we eat well, we're still not where we could be if we matched them both. You know what I'm saying? So I do have and it's hard, but I do have like a desire now to not cheat myself and kind of take my own advice. You know what I'm saying? Because I see what happens when you find a way to just give yourself a reason to cheat. It
Mhm.
shows up in the results. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that no more. So if you're out there, you're doing something in your life, like there's little things that you think, it's not that big of a deal. Like I'll overlook it, give yourself a reason to do it. It feels good in the moment, but then in the long term, you can't ignore that you're like cheating yourself out of your results. And we got to stop cheating ourselves out of our results. You know what I'm saying? Like we got these big goals and stuff. Why are we cheating ourselves out of it? Because we don't want to put in the
I was
sacrifice.
gonna say because it's
I
good.
know, but we don't want to put in the discipline. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to do what it takes every day to be a little bit better than the next day. You know what I'm saying? Nah, hey, talk about that. Things you got to give up sometimes. So, like when you're trying to go forward in your life and do something different, most likely you got to give up something. You know what I'm saying? And this week you asked me to give up coffee for the week. I ain't really succeeded that, but the day that I didn't have it, I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I was struggling at work to get started, and I was like, I don't know if it's a dependency, like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I just couldn't get good without it. And I struggled with that. And then it was like 2 days. But the second day weren't as hard as the first day. But like that little thing you asked me to do with the coffee sacrifice, it was bigger than I thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me think like, well, maybe I should sacrifice it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should be better at sacrificing just because it was so hard to let it go for a short period. You know what I'm saying? I must have some
Yeah, it
dependency on
makes you
it.
think, right?
Makes me think like, oh, something that small, I couldn't let it go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we gonna stick in the gym. We gonna stick working out, being disciplined. Stay tuned with that as we go on our personal training journey. You know what I'm saying? Of working out pretty much every day and eating better and that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to transition real quick because the other thing that's been on my mind, and a lot of you guys could probably relate, is if you got kids, you got to watch them grow up. You know what I mean? We talked about this a little bit, but like watching your kid grow up is like amazing, but it's also scary. And you got the experience of seeing our son go to the dentist recently, and
Mhm.
it was a little different than usual. You know what I'm saying? But talk about that. I wasn't there, but I see what you went through, and I definitely see what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
But like, talk about that real quick.
Yeah, they gave him the a nice cocktail
Mm-hmm.
that had him pretty drowsy and loopy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the waiting room, and then for safety precaution, they pulled out a wheelchair to wheel him back into the room where he was going to have some teeth removed because of some overcrowding and to make room. He had some new teeth, some adult teeth coming in, so they did their thing. And yeah, it was just he was in pain afterwards, and it was just hard to watch. Now, I've been through this before with my daughter. She had to do the same thing with the braces and all that stuff, but yeah, it was just a little different because she was she was like an OG.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little bit more sensitive to everything. So he had tears rolling down his eyes. And I'm like, why are you crying? He didn't know. But
Right.
then I thought about it. I'm like, sometimes I've been under anesthesia and come out and just start crying just cause.
Mm-hmm.
so so yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
But you did it though, and he did it.
I did it. He
You know
did
what I'm
it.
saying?
Today he said he feels no pain.
Yeah. Hey,
He's
but
fine.
yesterday he was taking a nap after this whole thing, and I came to check on him. This is kind of when I knew it was real serious because he's laying on the bed like passed out. He's got the gauze in his mouth,
Mhm.
blood all over the pillow, blood all over his shirt. His teeth had blood all in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I felt like I needed to comfort him, but it was not for me to comfort him. Like it just was what it was.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's gonna be one of the hardest things. And I've dealt with it with our daughter already, but like you can't always comfort them or fix the things that they're going through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You could be there with them, but you can't always take the pain away from them. Like there's nothing I'm not got my teeth worked on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's the one that had to get 3, 4 teeth taken out, whatever it was. So I could be there, let him know I love him, get him smoothie and all that. Like we're doing our part, but it don't change the fact that he's the one there with the bloody mouth. He's the one there that's looped, all loopy and everything.
Mhm.
He's got a there's an aspect of it of him having to get through it on his end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's tough because especially me, I want to just come in and make it all better,
Yep.
and we can't do that. We had some lessons lately of like we can't make everything better. You know what I mean? People's got to go through the own things, including us. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you taking him. You know what I mean? And I starting to get me ready for him growing up a little bit. Cause I've been looking at him lately, and I'm like, you look taller. He's
Mhm.
been working out crazy. He's doing cross country now. So his
Mhm.
running, you could see his body. Like he always wants to show his abs and all that, and touch my stomach and all that. But like you could see his body changing,
Yeah.
his
I thought we had to
mannerisms
talk too.
changing.
We
You
had to
keep
talk.
FaceTiming me. What's up with that? Why are you FaceTiming me
Mm.
right now?
Him?
No, you.
Oh, that's him.
Oh, that's him.
He's FaceTiming you from my phone.
I wonder why he's FaceTiming me.
I do not know.
I don't know. He
I think
knows anyway.
the dog might have
Oh
had an accident or
gosh.
something.
Oh
But
no.
yeah, we've been talking about the changes
Mm.
in the car ride of his body.
Hmm.
What's about to happen very soon.
Yeah.
But I'll let you take over.
Hey, but see now you got into to one thing we need to talk about. And anybody that's listening, your parent, give me some advice. Give me some advice with this. You know what I mean? But I gotta have that tough conversation with him about what comes with getting older. You know what I mean? And it's not just getting stronger and taller and having to go through issues, but it's like, defending yourself is one of them, right?
Mhm.
And we're touching to the other one, your favorite, in a second. But like, you got a son, right? You got to teach him how to defend himself. Now, the way that I'm raised, my son, and maybe there's other people out there like that, but like, I don't want him to feel no pain. So I'm being his protector. I'm being his friend. I'm being the guy that sits there and just moves everything out the way to make sure that he don't feel no pain. But that's not realistic in life. You know what I'm saying? And now that he's getting into middle school, I was pissed the other day when you told me something happened where somebody threw some cup at him and he had a little bruise on his arm or whatever the case may be, and somebody pinched him. Now this is all minor stuff, but I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time me as a parent have had to feel that energy of somebody putting their hands on my son. And I was ready to go off it. And you was like, hey, before you email this person, before you go do this, you got to teach him how to defend himself. So we was in his room. I was teaching him how to put his hands up. I was teaching him boxing stance, how to back up, how to go forward. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, yo, I really got to get him ready for these situations I went through when I grew up. People will come up and mess with you for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't realize that all you got to do is be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Walk past somebody who's got the wrong energy,
Mm-hmm.
and that spills over to you. And as a man, you got to be ready to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt better starting. We got a lot more to go, but like starting to teach him a little bit. Like everybody ain't got love for you. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody's not sitting there wanting to play with you. Everybody that's smiling in your face could be jealous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And don't let anybody put their
and don't
hands
let
on you.
nobody put their hands on you because they do it once, they'll think it's okay to do it again. You know what I'm saying? We got to teach them to, like, nah, that's not okay. And I don't need to be friends with you. I don't need to associate with you if you're not going to treat me the right way. And it just kind of gave me a fast pace, like, preview into like what I haven't been teaching them, what I haven't been telling them. And I know it's getting close to being too late, but I'm right on time. I'm about to have him ready for middle school. I'm about to have him ready. Well, judge me if you like, but I just told him, like, if he wants to do me a favor, that's what I told him. Let me know the first time he punched somebody in their face. That's what I told him. And it's not because, no, listen, don't give me that. I told him it's not because I want you to go attack anybody. But I know that the day that somebody messes with him and he can come to him and say, Daddy, I punched this guy in his face, I know he's changed. I know he's recognized like everything ain't sweet in life. And I'm going to defend myself. And what bothers me so far about him is that he doesn't necessarily want to defend himself. It's not comfortable yet. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. Not about fighting and all that. It's just like
Well,
that
he's not comfortable with
he's
contact.
not comfortable with contact, conflict. You know what I mean? Being pushed, being bumped. Same thing on the soccer field. Like he wants it to be your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn,
Mm-hmm.
and people gonna take their turn. And I don't want nobody doing that with my son. You see what I'm saying? And the other thing that kind of made all this connect for me is that he had a field trip recently. This was the first little preview into this. He had a field trip recently, and I got to chaperone. And we were out there playing basketball. The adults was playing against the kids. The kids loved that, and the adults won. So a couple kids was talking a little trash to him, you know what I'm saying, during the game or whatever. And he said something back to him. I don't know exactly what he said, but he said something back to one of the kids. And I heard the kid loud as day. He was like, you ain't said nothing all year. You're saying something because your daddy here. Now I don't mind that because I'm there. You see what I'm saying? I'm there, but what does that mean? It means that all year they've been looking at him as somebody that is you know what I'm saying? They could be a little more aggressive
Yeah.
with.
But I tell you one thing, it's them quiet ones
Oh, they
that
smack the hell out of you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see, I don't. But see, it's got to be right because I don't want him to be
right, right,
quiet,
right.
quiet, and then all of a sudden it's like he's beat somebody to a pulp because he let it out. Like it's got to be, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of let me know, like, nah, you're getting into that age group now where people think they bad. You know what I'm saying? People trying to show off, people trying to make it like we're not gonna have that happen to you. And I love him too much. I don't want him to go through no pain at all. But now it is part of preventing, like teaching him versus blocking it. Because I can't block everything. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I had learned from my family member of mine's, they used to talk to me about like how my mama raised me. My mama raised me very similar to how I'm raising my son, which is like move out the way if you don't think my son's a prince, king, superstar. You know what I'm saying? And that same person told me that ain't doing you no benefit as you got older. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to be a little harder with you, let you know everybody ain't got love for you. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't learn that till I got to high school. And I had it a little rough in high school, fighting and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I learned that from one of my family members later in life. but I was probably like around 14 or so. You know what I mean? So anyway, that happened. But then the other thing that I would say is that we've also had another great experience outside of what happened at school. You know what I mean? That was really eye opening. But you did something recently, transition from that and bringing our family together even more. Something very simple, which is the fact that we bought this piano. You know
I'm
what I'm
like, what
saying?
I
No,
do?
no, no. The fact that we bought this piano. So, like I said, yo, it's been an interesting week because we had a mix of all types of stuff. It's been an up and down week. So I talked about one of the dawns a little bit, which is like it's kind of a up, but like teaching my son how to defend himself and get ready for middle school. You know what I mean? If you're a father out there, you probably got your son ready early. Don't worry, I'm gonna catch up. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta protect our kids, but make sure they're really ready for life. And raising a man is one of those things that's tough. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm, you're talking different too. Raising a man.
I'm saying raising a man is tough. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So just be quiet. Why you always got to say
No,
something?
because I'm identifying. Oh, I see
I
change.
know
That's all.
that
Why you
he is
can't tell me
different.
be quiet?
I don't know. Maybe you touched a nerve. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm getting there, but I ain't all the way there. I
Okay,
don't
that's
know.
cool.
But no, I appreciate that.
And you're a great father.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
And yeah, amazing mama. And one of them things that you did, like I said, is this piano.
Oh yeah.
So what made you want us to get a piano and like how that happened? You know what I'm saying?
Well, there are multiple reasons, but last year when we were in Pittsburgh visiting my cousin, they had a piano, and Caleb took an interest in it, and he said that he wanted to learn how to play. Plus, my father's a professional pianist,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I used to play the piano. Now, I never got to like intermediate level. So let's just say beginner level, off and on. Like when I was probably Christian's age, maybe Caleb's age. I don't know. But my father used to give me piano lessons. And I didn't want to do the piano lessons because I had to practice like every day and all the kids were outside playing. And I'd be like, man, I want to go outside and play. Like he would not let me quit. But then one day he let me quit. So
Mm-hmm.
I was outside playing. And I live with regret. Like, dang, I really wish I knew how to play the piano. I wish I knew how to play the piano. And it came up again because when Mariah was playing the viola and she wanted to quit. I would
Mm-hmm.
not let her quit. I was like, no, because I have regret from when I was a kid. I quit the piano and I wish my parents wouldn't let me. So she went through a whole lot to be able to quit the viola, but I did eventually let her quit the viola. Okay. So fast forward 20 something years later, back to me, back to Caleb. Um, I've been looking at that space in the living room. And I've been saying it for so many years, like, dang, I want to put a piano there. So I just said, you know what? I'ma do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I started looking for a piano and I've been looking like off and on because I want to get something. I don't want to get something super nice because I don't want it to just be one of those things where you just get excited for the moment and then you don't play it for 10 years. So I was like, well, I want something nice, but so we'll see. So anyway, I've been looking off and on for probably a couple years now, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm in this mom's group for the local area and a young lady posted about giving piano lessons. She lived right up the street and she gave the price and I said, "You know what? I'm going to put Caleb in piano lessons cuz he bought it up last year and I didn't do anything about it." So she was talking to me about it and she was also sending me pianos on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying that it's important for them to learn on a real piano because the weight of the keys and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
So now I had talked to my father
Mm-hmm.
because he's a professional. Because there's also the option of like a digital piano, and he was like, nope. The way it sounds, the way it feels is completely different. You got to get you a real piano. Okay. So I found a real piano. And just so you know, when you try to buy things or interact with people on Facebook Marketplace, sometimes it's a lot. Like sometimes they take days to respond, sometimes they don't respond at all. Sometimes it feels a little fishy. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
found the piano and had it delivered to the house, and I love it. I love it.
I tell you one thing, I love hearing you guys play, seeing how quickly my son are picking up on like the little songs that you're kind of teaching them, and like
Mhm.
I'm already been like capturing it on my Instagram and everything where you guys are like playing together. And I need you to look at them clips because when I see you guys playing, I could just see the love and admiration he has for you.
Yeah.
And everything that you're doing, he thinks is so amazing and he's so proud to be doing it with you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's nice. It's a different type of interaction,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing of I wish I never quit. I'm back. I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect example of never being too old to do anything. You're never too old to pick up a new hobby, learn a new instrument. I don't have to keep saying, I wish I never quit. I wish I knew how to play. Learn how to play. Do
Hey,
it.
that's what's up. Hey, talk about that real quick because there was a time where like we weren't necessarily looking forward so much to your birthday. You know what I mean? That big birthday that you had. But I feel like you've been just unraveling all of these interests and things that you have and like putting urgency to it. And we talked about the working out thing a lot because we're so active trying to be more healthy. But like it seems like right now, I won't say you have like a not curious kind of attitude, but it's like you think like, oh, I want to do this. I want to fix the floors. Let's fix the floors. You know what I mean? We've been talking for years. Well, you, not me. You've been talking for years about we got to change the windows and the blinds. Yeah, well, now we're in Liz shopping for that. You know what I mean? You talked about the fact that you was thinking about getting a piano for years. It never happened. Now you did it. Like, where is this? I want to know for real. Like, where is it coming from all of a sudden? Where it's like I need to do it, because that's been like your thing. Like we have to do it. Everything you're saying is like we have to do the diet. I'm tired. Like, are we gonna do it or not? You've been saying that a lot.
Yeah.
Where do you think that's coming from?
I want to look. I want to live out my fullest potential.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want to live in this, like, oh, I wish, oh, if only when this happens, then this. And like, I just want to do it.
Hmm.
Like, I just want to do it. Like, I don't know. I just want to give 100%. It's in many areas. Like, if we're gonna move, this going to be a rental. Okay, when are you gonna start acting like you going somewhere?
Hmm.
Like, I just want to do the motion. I want to increase my belief. Like, I'm in a good spot, and life is short,
Yeah.
and it is a more recent realization.
Hmm.
Like, I know life is short. I dealt with a lot when my mom passed, and recognizing like, dang, like life is really short.
Right.
But I gotta call myself out on my own BS. Like, I'm not living to my fullest potential. I'm not doing all the things God put me here on this earth to do.
Hmm.
And I want to do it. Like, I want to please him. I want to be amazing. I want my children to look at me and say, dang, she did that, whatever
That's what's
that
up.
is.
That's what's up.
And I don't want them to be afraid to try new things. I want them to be like, dang, well, my mom picked up the piano at 40 years old.
Hmm.
Like, in my mind, I be telling myself like, you could be the greatest piano player in the world if you believe you could.
Hmm.
So, but I'm not cutting any corners. I'm learning how to read the music. Some things I can play by ear. Like,
Hmm.
I'm really taking the time to develop myself. So,
Yeah, well, I'm
yeah.
proud of you for doing
Well,
that. You know what
thank
I'm
you.
saying?
Thank you.
One of the things that we did way back in 2014, which was my first introduction to your family and the musical talents that's in your family. You know what I'm saying? Was when we went to Japan,
Oh,
which was like
yeah.
the best trip in the world. And I don't know if we ever talked about that trip on this podcast, but I want to get to my point right now. But we went out to eat one night.
Well, hold on. We went, my father lives in Japan.
Right.
So,
Well,
we should give a little
why
backstory.
don't you get the backstory? It's
Okay.
your daddy.
Yeah, yeah. My father is a musician. He plays the piano and he lives in Japan. And we went and visited him,
Hmm.
and that's it.
So look, we went out to eat one night, you know what I'm saying? And it was probably like one of the best dinners we had with the steak and the onion situation they did. I don't know if you remember, like, do you remember that
I
night when we
remember.
went and he was playing the piano and I was like, yo, it's really, really good. But one thing you talked about a lot, of course, is your mama. You know what I mean? I know we'll talk about her even more because she's a big reason why we even here doing this podcast. But talk about your daddy because you have a love for your daddy that I see pop up a lot here and there. He's somebody that you call frequently. He's been in Japan for a lot of years. He's the reason why you seems like you even know about the piano. You know what I mean? But you got sisters in Japan you haven't really talked about. But what is your daddy? I wanna hear this from you. Like, what does your daddy mean to you, and what do you think his brought to your life? Because you guys have a pretty interesting relationship, I think. But the way that I could see how much you love him and you have an admiration for him, and he definitely has an admiration for you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, like, how does it feel thinking about your daddy playing the piano again? And give us a little bit of insight into Randy. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
know. I
saying? No,
mean,
we
it
want to
wasn't
know.
it wasn't always cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. Like, because my father he moved to Japan. Shoot, I was probably I don't even know how young I was. I was probably in like first, second, or third grade. Like, it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom raised me. He like in person, he missed a lot of my life, and um, yeah, man, that sucks. But I think that as I came into my 20s, um, it's like we started talking more, and thank God for the internet because we could FaceTime and connect on Facebook Messenger and stuff like that, and we just um we just be kicking it. Like, I don't know, it's such a like I don't know where to go with this, but I will say that it's been a process because now I can look back and see like, dang, it's so impactful when you don't have your father in your life. And now that he's in my life, I'm just grateful for it
Mm-hmm.
because I would say that he is the person who really like he gets me. Like, it's I don't want to say he's an extension of me, but clearly I'm probably an extension of him because like I can truly be myself with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um he's a positive person, and he has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and he'll give you a different perspective on things, and he's really smart, like he's intellectual. He must read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just it's like a judgment free zone as well. So, and then also he's a entrepreneur as well, so we connect on that level.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Hey, but
so
you know
that's what
what?
it is.
Nah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you though, because we always keep it real on our podcast. But there's a lot of people out there that grow up without their fathers for the whole life, for a period of their life, for many reasons. You know what I'm saying? And the impacts could be really, really big. You know what I mean? But I don't think I think this is something we know, and I don't even know why it's coming out today. But I do want to talk about it. But that's something that me and you have in common, and we ain't really even realized that really in communicating with each other. But like, we both kind of have fathers that missed out a lot on things in our life.
Hmm.
But yet here we are talking from the perspective of like reconnection as adults and things being different now. And what you was talking about right now is pretty much everything that you can kind of appreciate that you get out of that relationship now. You see what I'm saying? That's your friend. I don't even, I forgot everything you said. I was so into it, but he was like, he's his, what did you say? He's got his like his own business or like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Free thinking, all that type of stuff. He supports you. My daddy is somebody that weren't in my life a whole lot. I missed out on a lot of things. Every graduation, I ain't got no pictures. You know what I'm saying? First girlfriend, second girlfriend, stories. Spent a lot of my life out in the United States. My daddy ain't been here until I was a lot older. You know what I'm saying? And my dad is pretty famous where I come from for sports. So I always grew up hearing about how amazing it was, but like I never really got to experience that much of it. You know what I'm saying? I would always go to the games and he was playing and I was watching, but I didn't realize how much I was admiring and being like a fan versus having like a friend and a father. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot
Mhm.
of memories from watching something amazing that I admired, but there wasn't any real connection and quality time. You know what I'm saying? And I missed out on a lot of things, and it does hurt when you think about it. And I don't even know all the things with you and your daddy, but it does hurt when you go through and you grow up without somebody you love. Like when you grow up without a father, it's tough. You know what I mean? I know for me, just being real, that was one of the things that contributed to me always thinking that somebody thought I weren't good enough or that something was wrong with me. And something that I still battle with to this day, where you could be admiring me the most and I'm waiting for you to put me down. I'm waiting for you to pick me up and put me to the side. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for you to walk away. You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize that it's because somebody that you love so much, you wanted them to be around more and they weren't. So when somebody else comes around and they love you and they want to admire you and they think you're so great, it's like you don't even believe it. And you're like, my mama used to say this all the time. She'd be like, you live your life like you're waiting for the shoe to fall. Like I could be in the best situation, but it's like I'm waiting for it to fall. And if it don't fall, I'll go sabotage it. You know what I'm saying? I know that that's one of the things that not having a father, and I know it's different for women, but when you're not having somebody, a lot of times you can just look at yourself and be like, well, what's wrong with me? And I didn't believe this for a long time until got older and I started to see how I was behaving and some of the things that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like something has to be wrong with me. I'm had ex girlfriends that the relationship didn't work out because I was so sure they didn't like me no more. I was so sure that things had changed, but they were going through their own things. But I personalized it because that's what I always did. You see what I'm saying? And that's some of the things that could happen when you're waiting for somebody to that you admire and love to pick you up and they don't. You can't believe it when somebody else does it. You know what I'm saying? And you could sabotage things. Nah, that's my impact, and it's so many more things. But like, and I'm gonna ask you where you're comfortable. But like, do you think there's times that your daddy wasn't in your life growing up? And there's things. Do you think that shaped you in any way to like the person you? Do you think it caused you any like challenges or like tough times growing up? I know you're like strong,
Well,
Randy. Like you always,
well,
you know what I mean?
looking back, I can
Yeah.
say yes, but in the moment, like
Nah.
I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. But looking back, I can definitely say, yeah, I had some daddy issues. And I probably still deal with it because I'm not used to a man telling me that he loves me on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis. You experience
Every
that.
day. That's I'm good. I'm going somewhere with it. I want to
Yeah.
see what you tell me though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's because even now, like I can honestly say like I still can't believe you love me. Being married to you for almost 10 years, I'm like, he really loved me.
And you know what? That's a fact because I never understood it. And you don't talk as much as me, so I always have to try to put things together. But I would look at you and be like, dang, I've been with you for so long. Why do you still say these things? You know what I'm saying? Why do you still look at me like you love me? Like you ask me this kind of question, like, do you love me?
Like, do
And I'm
you
like,
really
what else do
love
you
me? I
need?
know, I
Like,
know.
you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy that that could have that type of impact on you. Like we've been together for a minute, and sometimes you have disbelief, and it's the same way for me. Like you guys think I'm amazing, and I just sometimes think, how could I be? That's the detriment sometimes of what we could do as parents. You know what I'm saying? Is that we raise kids that have insecurities. You know what I mean? That have lack of self love and belief in themselves. And I believe you, that's what contributes a lot to the way you are. Because when I met you, you're super confident. You don't need no guy. You don't need no this. You don't need no that. I feel like that was your way of, you know what I mean,
Protection.
protecting yourself.
Hmm.
And it's been a battle knowing you and trying to basically say, hey, nah, I can protect you. It's not as much
Yeah.
of a battle now because you're always trying to get me to do everything.
Nah, but you had to break down some
But
walls.
yeah,
You did.
like
Yeah.
let me love you for real. Like let me
Yes.
take care of you. Like it's okay to let me take care of you. And that's been a battle like none other. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy because when you're a woman, you might think the average woman just wants a guy to come over, come in, take care of them, love them, but that weren't you. It's almost like you was uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? But fast forward, when you go through them tough times and people that you love that ain't been there or whatever the case may be, what you did is something that I'm did a little different is that you do have to, I don't want to say come to peace, but you almost have to realize what you have now because it's only a short period of time, for instance, that you're a kid where you're growing up, where you really need a parental figure to take care of you. You always need your parents, but it's only a period of time where they need to feed you, clothe you, come to your parties, come to your graduations. If you live a long life, hopefully, most of the time in your life, you're actually an adult for a lot longer than being a kid. One of the things that I'm been able to do is turn that negative per se thing into like one of my closest friends. You see what I'm saying? We don't have to talk all the time, but like my daddy called me. I'm excited to take the call. We can laugh. We can talk about sports. We can talk about gambling, try to make some money or whatever. You know what I mean? That's my guy. You see what I'm saying? So I was never able to fix everything he missed, but I'm like replacing it somewhat with everything that he is now, which is somebody I can call up, be like, "Yo, I'm struggling," you know what I mean? This, and that. We talk about something. Hey, I just hit this money, and now I'm gotta go fix the fridge. Like, we could laugh about it because he could relate to that as a like your money's never yours as a father or somebody that takes care of a house. So I can call him and talk about that. You know what I mean? Like we could
Yeah.
just chop it up on like sports or whatever the case may be. And no, maybe you didn't see me graduate from high school. Maybe you didn't see me graduate from university. Maybe you wasn't around for all these moments. Maybe you wasn't there when I was in the US growing up. But I actually turned out all right.
Mhm.
And now I can appreciate you for what you are versus always looking at what you ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of the problem we have with as humans is like it's always easy to see what somebody ain't and
Or what
always
they
focus
weren't.
or what they weren't. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't take it away. You don't give them an excuse, but at some point, if you're strong enough, you can turn the page.
You know what?
What's up?
I just thought about something. My mom had actually told me that she thought I should write a book talking about I think she called it like without my father or something like that. But
I think you should,
yeah, yeah. But
cause
I
it.
think it's oh, go ahead.
No, 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 no. But I think you should because even just looking in your eyes, I could tell that that's a stone that's halfway turned over.
Maybe because I'm just listening to you and I'm processing some things. But I will say I don't really think that I realized until we started raising children together the importance of having a man in the home.
Hmm.
Like, cause I just single parent, had the single parent life. Most of my friends were
Right.
raised by a single parent.
Hmm.
So now when I see us co-parenting, together in the same house, I can see the importance of having both parents in the home just from a completely different perspective. And that's not against anybody who doesn't have a significant other in the home. I'm just speaking on my experience personally. And I can see differently, like, oh yeah, I can see how you were impacted by that. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, but maybe I will, because that's one thing. She must have saw something too for her to tell me like you need to write a book. So there might be some levels to this. I
It's
might need to talk
definitely.
about this in counseling.
Hey, I'm probably need to be right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it is real. Like, and you know, a lot of times we gloss things over that are painful. You know what I'm saying? And people could see it objectively from the outside, but like I had plenty of people, my stepmama, my mama, other family members that would tell me like, "Yo, you ain't okay, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you be okay? I came to the States when I was 14 and went through so many things that only I understand. I've had so many jobs that my daddy probably couldn't name one job, one place I'm work for, or what I actually do. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't have no concept of it. Like, but I've had other people as part of my life that I do talk to about work, and that you know what I'm saying. So like, it ain't one person don't always feel everything. But I did realize, like you said, was even though I thought that I understood how impactful it was to me and how much it hurt me, I only knew it from one side. I only knew it from the side of like, this is what you ain't been for me. You know what I'm saying? Now and I could never turn the page to like actually do something good out of that. Cause all I did was look up and be like, you wasn't here for this, you didn't do that, how much it hurt me, how much stuff you missed, and that
Okay, so
that
hold
keep
on.
go ahead. So
Where did you get that from though? Like was that something that you came to conclusion on your own or was that poured into you like, look, he ain't do this, he didn't do that?
I could tell you. I'll tell you right now. So it was poured into me throughout my life. You know what I'm saying? When I would do wrong, my mama and other people would always remind me like that's probably because your daddy weren't there.
Mm,
So like I always kind of attributed the bad side of me to the absence of him. And maybe that was right, maybe it wasn't or whatever, but it was always something over the top of my head. Like I was always reminded, like like it's not even like something I had to just see on my own. I was always reminded that my daddy didn't spend the time with me. I heard it all the time. You see what I'm saying? Like even if I wanted to forget it, I couldn't
yeah.
because it was always told to me like, yo, he's not there. He wasn't there for you. He's not doing this for you. He's not checking for you. So even if I wanted to try to forget it, I couldn't. So I was told my whole life, like, that's why you're acting out, Dexter. That's why you're not being respectful to people. That's why you're sitting here getting in trouble in school. That's why you're sitting here having relationships not work out. That's why you're talking back to your mama. That's why, like, it was all attributed to the lack of me having a father. And I was too young to even know that that was true, but I did run with it because that's what I always heard. I didn't really know what it really was until I went 25. And I'm telling you this story before. I don't know if said it on the podcast before, but I'll say it again. But only one specific thing happened to me when I was 25 that let me know that I wasn't all right with everything. I was at work. I was working for a big four accounting firm at the time. And I was at work. And hey, look, y'all might think I'm crazy, but it's a true story because it could be something little that happens a whole bunch of years later that opens your eyes, right? And this is mine. So it was my 25th birthday. And I was at work, excited, about to go to my girlfriend's house afterwards, like I usually would celebrate my birthday. And here it is, I'm working, and I got a call from my stepmama, and she was like, "Oh, happy birthday!" Da 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 da. And I was like, "Yeah, thank you." Da, 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 just regular conversation. And then she said something to me, and I know she didn't mean nothing by it, but she said something to me, and she was like, "We should do something for your birthday." And I was like, that kind of caught me off guard because I'm like, what you mean we should do something? You know what I mean? And then she said to me, she was like, yeah, we should do something. Like, we ain't never really celebrated your birthday. And I don't know why. She was like, me, you, your daddy. Like, I had plans to be with my girlfriend that night or whatever. She was like, me, you, your daddy, like we should do something because we ain't never really like celebrated your birthday like that. And I
Trigger.
hung up look, I hung up the phone and I went back to the client's office or whatever. And I was at my computer typing, and I'll never forget tears just started coming out my eyes, man. And it was my 25th birthday, and then all of a sudden, I was in the bathroom bawling like as if I was like 7, crying so hard that I ended up calling my daddy right then and done. And I told him to come to my job. These are all facts. And I told him to come to my job, and he came to my job. And this is so unfair, probably, but right outside my job, like it had a little side walkway. I just laid into my daddy and told him everything that he wasn't ever for me, man. Out of nowhere, like out of nowhere. A week before that, we were probably talking about fishing or something like. But out of nowhere, I was on the side of my job, 25 years old, crying and screaming at my daddy for everything that he missed out on and everything that he wasn't and all of that. And that's when I realized, like, nah, I'm not all right. It was that day. And he hugged me. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he told me he was sorry for the things he missed and stuff like that. And then he left. And then I was just there.
What's interesting though is when you called, he came. So that says a lot right there because he didn't have to come,
Nah,
you know?
nah.
So,
And he just listen. I mean, he didn't cut me off. I just like it just came out. Like I wish I could tell you everything I actually said, but it just came out. I had no. It just came out. Like it was just in there, and it just came out. That's the best way I could describe it. And after it came out, not even to sell this story short, man. After it came out, did I feel better? Not really. Did it change the type of relationship that we actually have? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up getting right back to work afterwards. But I ain't been the same ever since. I've never been the same ever since because I finally was aware that what people was telling me was right. That I weren't all right. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to cry on this joint. But fast forward to something you said. Ever since that day, the additional experiences that I've had in my life that makes that day make more sense to me. One time, my daddy sent me a picture, and it was him at the cricket field, and me and him was holding a trophy together. And I looked at myself in the face. I'm small, and I could see how happy I was. And then I look at my son now, and I'm like, dang, that's how you look at me. You feel me? I'm like, oh, that's what my daddy meant to me. You see, like, you grow up, and as kids, when you love your parents, the love is always stronger than the bad things. So you could be mad that somebody wasn't there, they didn't do this, and somebody's told you, hey, you always been this way because of this person. Deep down, you don't even care for real. You just want your daddy. It's actually more simple than you think. You see what I'm saying? You just want your daddy. So I was like, it didn't matter. That's why somebody could have told me 100 things about my daddy. If he would have called me, hey, let's go fishing, and none of those things you told me the last 10 years would have mattered. I would have been right at the dock fishing with you. That's the beautiful thing about kids and the love you can have for your parents. But I looked at that picture and I was like, I get it. That's why I wasn't okay because no matter what kind of band-aid I had been put on life, no matter what else, it didn't matter. You can't change that kind of love, but you don't get to experience it as much as you wanted to. I look right at that picture. Now I look at my son. We go to the basketball court together. He wants to take a picture with daddy. I look at his face and I'm like, all right, that you're me now. And I'm my daddy. And you look at me like that. I'm everything to you. I'm your superhero. My daddy was my superhero. Period. No matter what anybody said. So I might have held it for years. But on my 25th birthday, I had to let my superhero know that I had been hurt. I missed you and I love you. That's what I was saying. You see what I'm saying? And the kind of father that I am now, I know for a fact I don't never want my son to have to say that to me because that's my best friend. And I'm going to make sure that he knows that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm so aware of what I mean to him. Like it's like one of the things I know the most of. I know what I mean to you because of what I've been through. I know, like without a doubt. If I look at that picture with me and my daddy at the cricket field or whatever, everything makes sense. I can look at my son and I know what I mean to you, bro. I know. I'm not about to go out like that. Serious. And that's the kind of love that can have you later on in life talking about the Lakers, talking about the gambling, having a little laugh. Because I'm still the same kid that loves his daddy like I did in that picture. And every single thing that he's missed out on, It has done nothing to that. We like to change and adjust and, you know what I'm saying, put on our defense armors and stuff to get through life because we all do it. But at the core of it, I got a love for you like no other. And that's the love you got for your father too, man. That's your
Mhm.
daddy.
Oh yeah.
And all these experiences, I'm going somewhere weird today, but all these experiences is why I could have the stepdaughter that I have, my daughter, excuse me, but just making it right. But that's why I could raise her and be cool. Cause no matter what she say, and I'm told you over the years, no matter what she might think of her own daddy or what didn't happen or whatever, I just sit back and I'm like, go love on your daddy. Go spend time with him. Give him a call. He says something you don't like, shake it off. Because I know that deep down, it doesn't matter as much as you think. And you've been blessed enough to have family members, grandparents. I mean, she ain't missing on nothing that's been able to fill in the gaps per se. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I want her to get to what I got to on my 25th birthday faster. That makes sense? You know what I'm saying? So who knows what kind of daddy I would be now if I didn't have the experience with my daddy that I had. I might be out there right now at the casino, because I like a little casino, and I might be there all night with not the true appreciation on how much my son is hoping I come home and play video game. But that won't happen to me, yo. It's like impossible. And as crazy as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, every day that I have the relationship with my son that I have and the awareness I have, I almost got to thank my daddy for that. Maybe him hurting me has given me the most help that I'll ever have in my life. Because I got to experience it and now I get to go fix it. You feel me?
Mhm.
His did maybe that's God is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's what he did for me. Maybe he knew I was gonna have a Christian that was gonna change my life at 27. And he knew that I needed to know how much my son means to me. So he put me through some trials.
All things work together for good to those who believe.
Serious. You know what I'm saying? So how could I not love my daddy? Even though it hurts, just telling you this, even though it hurts, how can I not love my daddy and the experience I'm here? Because now I'm getting to have a son where I'm just aware like never before, yo. You know what I'm saying? And that experience with my daddy did that for me. So you hear me? You guys are listening to this like you're growing up without a father or a mother or a family member or whatever. Like, don't ever think that the things that on paper they did wrong changes what's in your heart because your heart's not on paper. Your heart is your heart. And it's the love that you have for parents is like no other. And for your children, you know what I'm saying? And it's always okay to find a way to turn the page. You don't forget the other chapters, the early chapters, but you go and turn the page. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Last thing I'll say, give my daddy a shout out real quick. The best captain Somerset's ever had in cup match history. If you guys don't know what cup match is a cricket game we have every year in Birmingham. It's a holiday. The best players from the eastern end of the island play the best players on the western end of the island. It's actually been switched up where we got east people on the west on the. That's a whole nother thing, but it's a holiday where two teams play against each other, and my daddy probably has the most legendary cup match in 1996. While my mama and other people were always telling me like, "Yo, your daddy, you're missing out on this, you're missing out on that," and da 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 da. It didn't stop me from being out here in high school every day after school watching my daddy's highlight video over and over again. Rewind, play, rewind. This VHS. Rewind, play, rewind, play. Watching his moments. The greatest. That's the kind of love I have for him. So that was my way to stay connected to him. It's by watching his highlight videos. You know what I'm saying? And even now, beautiful thing is I plan on showing those videos to my son. I got to get the VHS converted to something modern so we can watch it. But I'm going to show that to my son. My daddy was great. That doesn't get taken away. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? And now in my 30s, I can experience everything that he is and I can love him for that. And I can keep on moving, just like you. And that's why, I'm going to finish it up, but that's why you can have this piano in your house. It's okay. You turn the page.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
for me, I think it's a different impact
You think so?
because like nobody really spent any time reminding me that he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just like listening to you talk. I'm like, dang, like he was constantly reminded. So it's a weight,
Mm-hmm.
like you're so aware. But for me, it's like, and this is now, I don't know, maybe I'll go to therapy and some things will come out, but I just feel like it wasn't really a big deal. Like it just,
Mm-hmm.
there was no attention brought to it that he wasn't there. So even when I think about it now, I'm like, it's so interesting to hear you talk.
It's
And
different though.
it is, and I appreciate you opening up like this.
I ain't expected though. I ain't expected. But look, we almost at time, you know what I mean? But if you want to take anything from today's episode, you love somebody, go give them a call. Let them know that. You know what I mean? If you're sitting at him and something's on your heart, let it out. You feel better about it. You know what I mean? And if it's people close to you in your life that's letting you know, hey, you may not be okay, take a quick second and tap into that. They might see something in you that you don't see. You know what I mean? And maybe you don't gotta be like me and go all these years and have something pop on your birthday that triggers that you ain't been okay all this time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are walking around holding a lot of things in. We can't hold it in. We can't cover it. We can't bandage it. You know what I'm saying? Scars are scars, but trust me, if you pick a scab off, it bleeds. You know what I'm saying? So don't just think it's all okay because it ain't bleeding every day. It's just one moment away, one conversation, one interaction away from it being a fresh wound all over again. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, one thing I didn't get to, we can couple on this on the next podcast, but as we go back to watching our kids grow, there's a conversation I need to have with my son, which I would love some help from anyone who's had to tell their son about women and what everything that comes with looking at a woman and realizing that you look at her a little bit different than your guy friends. And whatever comes with that. Randy's been asking me had this conversation for a long time. I've had it not at all, but I know I need to have it. Just like telling my son how to defend himself, I gotta tell him what's happening when it's starting to look at these ladies and what that means from the physical, the mental, the emotional. You know what you ladies do to us, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you got anything else before we go back?
Mm-mm.
I enjoyed talking to you. I
Same.
fought a tear. I fought it off. You know what I mean? But I think we had what I mean? I enjoyed talking to you today. And anybody that ain't listened to our podcast, make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Dex and Randi Show. Clearly, we talk about real things on our podcast. You know what I'm saying? And we go through the ups and downs of life, giving you true stories and authenticity about the ups and downs that we've been through. And we've been through many because we literally do everything together. Till next time, peace. Make sure you follow the Dex and Randi Show on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Let us know what you're going through. This is the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. We want to hear from you, engage with you. Till next time, peace.